What up, crypto fam? It's your boy Phantom. We're taking a look at the market again. We've recovered some of the losses that we've hit earlier this week. What was our previous support zone is now going to be a resistance structure for us to get through. Since it was so recently a support structure, I'm hoping that there's not too much resistance, too many sell orders set up at this layer. It doesn't look like it's going to be too much of an issue just yet. That said, if we do reject hard, I'm still holding out that our weekly trendline support will be our bullish savior for the market. And as long as we don't close below what was this previous support and don't close below this weekly trend line, I'm still bullish on the market overall. I'm still in the belief that I think towards the end of this week we start to see momentum shift to the bullish side again, and I'm pushing that agenda still. I'm still watching that very closely. I think it's going to be correlated with the S&P doing well towards the end of this week as well. I'm hoping that we get some news about inflation and hopefully some cryptocurrency common sense regulation. That said, Ethereum took a little bit of a hit today, so we got some Ethereum news on their upcoming merge. We have Cardano has some bullish news events that have popped up today, so we'll cover both of those. There's actually two of those. And the fear and greed index has come back somewhat. We're in fear territory. We've left extreme fear. I think it's because people are, every time the market turns green for a day, they're a little bit more hopeful that the bull season is here. I'm thinking that it's going to be a slow, painful process, but I think once it does kick off, it's going to take some type of catalyst event. But I think once the bull market's here, it's going to be blatantly obvious to everyone. I think we're just going to rip hard. That said, until we start said ripping, I think it's going to be boring and even painful price action at times until we get to the real bullish part of the market. So we'll cover the news articles that I have. The first one is the Ethereum bearish-ish news. If you follow Ethereum and you have followed them over the past years, not many are surprised that there is a delay or could be a delay in their release. They've been talking about this for some time now, and it's continuing to meet delays after delays. One of the founding members hints at a merge delay. The long-awaited merge proof of stake on Ethereum will likely be even further delayed. Ethereum Foundation member Tim Bako tweeted Tuesday night that the merge would not take place by June as previously anticipated. Ethereum enthusiasts may have to wait a few months longer for the long-awaited proof of stake. In a Tuesday night Twitter thread, Ethereum Foundation member stated that he believes the long-awaited update won't take place by the second quarter of 2022 as currently estimated. It won't be June, but likely in the few months after. Going on to assert that the current proof of work consensus mechanism is in its quote-unquote final chapter. I would suggest not investing more into mining equipment at this point, he said in a reply to one of the Ethereum miners going for the name, by the name TripleSec. So I don't think he'd be pushing people not to get any more mining equipment if he wasn't sure that it was coming within a few months. My guess is when they did the shadow fork the other day and did some testing, they found some larger bugs that are going to take some development hours and, further testing and analysis to make sure that they close all those holes and gaps. So, this is a good thing. I'd rather take their time and release quality first instead of rushing this out the door and having to patch it on the way and get a bad name for Ethereum, because there's, ways to, to hack in certain ways or to, cause any types of problems on the network so that it's not as smooth as everybody's anticipating. So I'm fine with them taking a little bit of extra time to do it right. My guess is, just being a developer for 10 years, my guess is it will likely be towards the later part of the year. I think it's going to be the end of the year before we see it. Because usually if they know now that they're not ready for June but think it's a few months after that, generally the few months goes by even faster than you anticipate. It really depends on how many issues they found in that shadow fork testing. So we'll be watching for more type of news when this comes out, but my guess is, I'm thinking October, November, December. I think it'll be the last quarter of 2022 when we see the merge. Cardano has some bullish news. Cardano founder explains what users should expect from the upcoming Vasil hard fork. What changes can we expect in the hard fork? Hoskinson previously explained that this new hard fork would introduce several scaling improvements, including pipelining. It will have Plutus, CIPs. In addition to those changes, Cardano's IOG team is working to offer new products and features to its users, such as a dApp store, a new lightweight wallet that bridges that allow for moving assets from the main layer to separate sidechains. So the cool part about Cardano and the infrastructure that they've built, it's built in a way that the more it's used, the faster the network gets. So as it scales, it actually increases in speed, which is the opposite of, if you have any type of, like Comcast, for example, for your internet, they send all their internet to a central node, and then that node is split by, say, a neighborhood. So though everybody's streaming at the same time, that node only has so much data to feed out to the network of the neighborhood. Everyone kind of takes a hit on their bandwidth. The way that Cardano is set to work is that the more people are getting in on it, the faster the network will be, which is brilliant, and it took obviously quite a bit of time for them to come up with this type of infrastructure, but they will be reaping the benefits for it, I think, very shortly. Obviously, I'm not alone in that thinking, because the last news article that we have shows that Cardano sees nearly $50 million inflow into DeFi within the last 24 hours, despite its price drop. The price drops, but whales are accumulating. Cardano price tested the low of 91 cents on April 11th before it rebounded. At the time of publication, Cardano was trading up 1.35% at the day at 97 cents. At its present price, Cardano remains down 69% from its all-time highs of $3.10, attained in September of 2021. Despite the price drop, Cardano whales seem to be continuing their accumulations. A recent report from Santiment shows that the wallets that own more than 10 million Cardano are now holding almost 50% of the Cardano in circulation. The last time these whales owned that much Cardano was 2 years ago. And if you go back to the charts 2 years ago, Cardano was in the 10-15 cent range around that time, before we went parabolic. So this is an indicator to me that these people are accumulating, expecting, a somewhat substantial run. And it may not be next month. Back 2 years ago when this happened, it was, 6 months before we saw a peak. These large institutional and whale investors get in at decent prices. It doesn't mean it's the bottom, but they play this the long game. So they're in this until, Cardano can start ripping again. Likely getting in now before these big upgrades and hard forks come, because I think it's just going to be more bullish news and more bullish momentum for the Cardano project. So that's my anticipation, that the big money is getting in now, so that they're prepared for when Cardano does do its thing like it's done in the past and starts ripping to the upside. So very excited about that. Very excited about the Cardano project. A little bit sad to hear that Ethereum is going to be delayed, but like I said, I would rather a quality product. Quality first is the goal. So take the time that you need. It's good that they're owning it now instead of just before June, but nobody wants to hear delay after delay. I think it'd be cool if they come out and, you know, if they were to able to just give insight of what the defects that they think are going to take the time for development and close them out publicly. I think that would mean a lot to the community, but I think in general people are happy to know that there's a delay now instead of, a month or two from now, and that they're working diligently to push this out as soon as possible. It's also nice to know that they're saying, that they don't recommend investing in mining equipment because the proof of stake should be coming. So still bullish on Ethereum, still own a good amount of it. I don't own enough to stake, but I do own quite a bit of Ethereum, and I own a decent amount of Cardano, and I have since 2017. So just a review of the market one last time. I think it's going to take, I would like to see us break this previous support, now resistance level, before I start taking a look at any type of altcoins to jump into. Until then, I'll kind of sit on my hands and wait to let the market do its thing. I anticipate, again, like I said, towards the end of this week, that the bullish momentum comes back. We'll see if that comes to fruition. If it does, I'll start, making an altcoin pick or so a day on which ones that I'm interested in. And I generally do swing type of trades, so, day or two type of trade where, we take a 5-10% profit and we're out, we're done. Tight stop losses because the volatility of the market right now, you want to cut your losses when you can, because as you've seen from the past, when we start ripping down, we rip down hard, and you don't want to take an ugly haircut when trying to close on some profits. So that's my outlook of the market today. Awesome Cardano news. I hope that they keep coming out with it. I'll keep bringing it to you. Definitely consider giving a follow, subscribe, leave any comments. I also post these on YouTube. And, I do appreciate it. If you want to take a look at anything specific, just let me know. Happy to chart anything or give any type of broad type of information if it's requested. I can even make a quick type of video about, the benefits of blockchain and cryptocurrency as a whole. Just how to get started, what it's about type of video, if that's beneficial to the community. So let me know. But until then, I hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday. I hope you have an amazing Thursday. And I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, peace.